Okay, Campfire folks, this is Tony. We have acquired a few farm fresh items from the thrift store. So we bought one item from the thrift store, and the other two items we have bought them at yard sales and like little smaller flea markets while traveling around yesterday. So I want to show you what we have acquired. So over on the little work table, we have acquired a boiler, and this thing is cast iron. So I've always been told there's markings, and I see some markings right there. Can't really see them well, but we're not stressing over that yet because we are going to clean these items up. So there's a beautiful boiler. There's also some type of little hot plate that's made for like steaks, and we've had it for a while, but it's made to put like steaks and different things on to cook over your campfire. And then we have this fine farm fresh machine right here. So this is some type of a Dutch oven, and boy, it's nasty as it can be, but you know what, it's going to be a lot of fun cleaning these up and restoring them. So I've watched several videos on how to restore cast iron, and I also bought a griddle yesterday. So the thing originally come from Tractor Supply, and its original cost is $35-40, something like that, and we were able to acquire it for $5. It's already in pretty good shape, so I don't have it out here. We have it put up inside the house so that it does not get any worse and start looking like these. So apparently these have been left outside, and that's okay. Once we get the rust cleaned up, we are going to restore these three pieces of cast iron, and I can't wait. We're going to have a ball. After watching online, there are multiple methods or multiple ways that people clean up cast iron. One of those methods was by using a wire brush. So first of all, we're going to use the wire brush method, and we're going to see how effective it is on cleaning the cast iron. All right, let's give the old wire brush a try, and let's see how that thing works out. I think that's as far down as I'm going to take it with the sander. It's definitely got all the big surface rust off, and I think from this point I'm going to maybe Scotch-Brite pad it a little bit and see how it turns out. But it done good. It hadn't scratched the surface. I don't want to take it all the way down to the bare metal because I don't want to scratch it, but it seems to have done pretty well. It's got the majority of the big rust off, and I don't think it'll be too much more to clean up. It's a lot of work doing it that way. There's a little more I'm gonna hit down. It's a lot of work doing it this way, so I don't know if this is the best method or not. So let's go get a Scotch-Brite pad and finish bringing it down. So what do y'all think? It definitely took all the big rust off, all the heavy rust off. I think a little more polishing with a Scotch-Brite pad, I think that's not a bad method. It's a lot of work, but I don't think it's a bad method. Okay, so we're set up for the next method. The next method we're going to use is baking soda and a Brillo pad. If I can get the baking soda open. I'm going to make a little paste or concoction and mix it with just water. I also saw this done with salt and water, but I don't think we're going to put salt in it. We're going to just try the baking soda. If you don't have a spoon, you can use your finger, apparently. Okay. So, we're also going to clean this one up, or finish cleaning it with a Scotch-Brite pad. But the one that we're going to try the baking soda on first is the pot. So one thing I saw about pots that have a wooden handle online, I didn't know this, but you can unscrew. So I got a little pair of pliers, put it on the end, and you can unscrew the bolt out of this wooden handle and take this wooden handle off. All right, so that's what it looks like after the handle comes off. So then this thing is awful. It's got a lot of rust in it. So we are going to lay the handle down and get us a Scotch-Brite pad. We're going to see if, you know what, since it's so thick, I'm even going to put a little baking soda in on it. Use the Scotch-Brite pad, dip it in my concoction. I know you really can't see down in the container good. I'm trying not to make a real bad mess. Wow, the inside of that thing seems to be coming extremely clean. Okay, so I'm gonna pour most of the mess out and get the camera out here where you can see what the inside looks like. And I know it's still dirty and a lot of rust, and we're gonna go rinse them out. But I'm gonna spend a few minutes with the Scotch-Brite and see just how clean we can get this thing to come. So in the great state of Alabama this morning, where we're from, and I don't know what state you're from, it is a crisp 33 degrees out here right now. Earlier this morning at daylight, it was like 25 or somewhere in that neighborhood. We had a real heavy frost this morning, and there's still frost in the shade, but for the most part, the frost is gone. But one thing that's true is 33 is still not cold enough to make me put no long breeches on. So right now we're still in our shorts, and it has to be cold for me to put pants on, especially on the weekends. I'm a short wearing person. I love wearing shorts, and that's where I'm comfortable at. It's got to be cold for me to put clothes on. I like to cover my arms up. Okay. Set that out of the way. Set the old dirty rag out of the way. We got a rag that's a little cleaner. I think we're gonna clean it one more time, but hey, it got the majority of the rust off of it. So the Brillo pad is definitely a better way than the wire brush method is. The wire brush was hard to hold and a lot of work, and all this took is just a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of scrubbing. So we are going to wash it one more time, and then we're going to put a coating of oil on it to keep this thing from rusting. So y'all saw how bad this thing really was, and I mean, it has come a long way. There's still a little rust. Another cleaning should definitely clean that thing up. So let's do it again, and we'll see you shortly. This is the last and final piece and the last process. So I saved this one because this thing's awful. Can y'all see on the inside how bad that thing is? So, I mean, it's a beautiful Dutch oven, or it's gonna be a beautiful Dutch oven, but it's bad. It's in rough shape. But I think we have got the ability to bring this thing back. So the first two processes that we used, the first process was using a wire brush. The second process was using strictly baking soda and a Brillo pad or a Scotch-Brite pad. Third process we're going to use is white vinegar. So we're going to put, and this is 5% acidity. All the videos you watch says that you should never go over 10%, and I don't know why. I guess it strips too much or it pits the metal or whatever. So we're going to put a little bit in the bottom of our pan. Set our pan in. Ooh, it scared me. I didn't know if the pan was going to fit. And we're going to put a little bit in our pan. Make sure that we've got it soaked. So this time I'm going to go hunt me some gloves before I just stick my hand in the middle of all of that. FYI, that vinegar stinks. So let me go hunt some gloves and be right back. Found a pair of rubber gloves, or nitrile gloves, or whatever you call them, surgical gloves, to keep the vinegar off our hands. So everybody online, when you watch them do this process, they put vinegar in the container and then they mix a little bit of baking soda in with the vinegar. So before I really grab all that, I'm gonna pour some of that vinegar out because I got a lot in there. The thing is already boiling and bubbling. So vinegar and baking soda has some kind of reaction. I think it's that reaction where it takes the hair off a cat's tail or rust out of your cast iron. We're going to let that sit for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we're going to come back, put some more baking soda on it, and we're going to scrub it down again. Okay, so while the camera was off, I have soaked it in vinegar again and got it out and washed the vinegar off of it. I used another scouring pad. It's still got just a touch bit of surface rust on it that hadn't came off, but we're going to keep cleaning on it and wiping on it and rinse it down. So I think we're going to do that in the house, but for the most part, this thing is reasonably clean. As bad as this thing was, you can already see how much better it looks. I actually see some dark colored cast iron now instead of just dirty. So I'm going to take a dirty rag already and wipe this thing off, and then we're going to rinse it off. And get ready to take it in the house. Let Mama wash it in the sink, then get us some seasoning on it, and we're going to get it in the oven. I'm not mad at using the drill, and I'm definitely not mad at just the baking soda. So we'll make another video with doing the seasoning, but as far as cleaning goes, let me say this, because this is what I have learned from the 3 pieces that we done. The drill cleans it up very nice, but you strip all the old coating off of it when you do that. The baking soda takes a whole lot of arm work and scrubbing to get it off. The vinegar has done an excellent job using vinegar and baking soda, but with this particular piece, it had some hard surface rust down in the bottom that wasn't coming off, so I had to use the drill again and the wire brush. So this is what I learned about which method is my favorite. I don't think you can have a favorite, and I say that because it's all going to be dependent on what kind of shape the piece of cast iron's in. Because if this cast iron hadn't had that hard rust down in the bottom, that vinegar and baking soda would have cleaned this thing right up. So, you know, it depends. It's all determined by how bad a shape your piece of cast iron's in. If there's no big issues with it and just some little surface rust, any of them works. If it's in bad shape, you're going to have something to cut that off with. So I don't guess I have a favorite way, but I am glad that I've got them all cleaned up, and we're fixing to get some seasoning on them, wash them in the sink and get them cleaned up, and then we're going to get them seasoned, and we'll save that for another video. All right, campfire folks. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see y'all later.